Okay. All right, everyone. Let's see if you can hear me now. I feel like one of those commercials. Can you hear me now? So, whenever you get on, let me know if you can hear me okay now. You should be able to. I tested this, but I'll wait just a few minutes and let some folks get on. Sorry about the technical difficulties earlier. Not sure what happened. But if you are on YouTube or Facebook, hey Robin, can you hear me okay on YouTube? Let me know that you can hear me, okay? I'd appreciate it. Hopefully, I fixed the sound issues. Yay! Nothing like stressing you out when something doesn't work. Holy cow. What a what a pain. What a pain. Anyway, okay. So we are going to get started. So tonight I'm going to talk, and I'll make it as brief as possible since we're now almost an hour later than normal. There is an echo. I I have no idea what that is. Hopefully it's not too bad, Marie. Um, I double checked everything, so hopefully it'll get better. I don't know. I'm going to go for it no matter what. If something happens and it doesn't record very well, then what I'll do is pre record it and then just upload a video. Okay. All right. So tonight I'm going to talk about the enamels, different kits that are available, what I would recommend if you're just starting with our enamels. Okay. All right, so I'm going to switch to my overhead screen and go over a couple of business things real quick, and then we'll get started with mines. Okay, so I just pulled this out of the kiln. This is going to be it's a ceramic dish. You can see it's a very large, it's like 12 inches by 9 inches, and it's like a tray. Really cool. So this is going to be one of my projects up in Wisconsin at the Fire Arts Expo coming up in August. So keep your eye out for that one, and I'll have times and dates and everything. Probably mid to late March is when the schedule is supposed to be out. Okay, so this happens to be a low fire or an earthenware ceramic piece. Okay, put that away. This is another one. I haven't posted it yet. I put it in the kiln. This is also going to be one. I think this will be at the expo. It could be on the clay share. So watch for that, and I'll keep you posted what it's going to be. All right, so let's talk, and I've got some glass examples here. This was one of the pieces that I did on the live recently where I carved through. It's got the sparkles, so you can see. I mean, it's just really fantastic what you can do. So go back and watch those videos, and hopefully you can get some use out of that. This is another piece. So this is just like the ceramic one. Okay, so you can see that you can do either or. Of course, you can do more on ceramic glass. It's harder to accomplish uh, the technique, but it's there, and I'll put that one out. Okay, this just happens to be another piece that's fused glass using the prismatic textured sand technique, and then some other stenciling. Okay, and this is just all the enamels, the G series enamels. No outline, just two color blend, shading with color concentrates on top. So there are a couple of videos where I did different parts of this. It's painting on 3 different sides, so the front, the back, and then a third piece of glass. All right. Okay, so I'm not sure if anybody is on Facebook. I don't see any comments, but that's not surprising. And I'm not going to worry about it right now. Okay. All right. So let's get into the project. So here, I'm going to change the screen. Here are some different examples of glass projects that you can do with our enamels. So the dragonfly piece is outlined with piping paste, and then you basically flood your colors in the different areas. I do have technique sheets and videos on the website. It's called Blue Dragonfly. The butterfly piece is one that can be either piped with the piping paste, or it was silk screened, and then you can paint on the front, the back, and different things. The next piece with the vase and the flowers is an look-alike alcohol ink technique. It is on my blog, and it was a free project that you can download. Um, the rainbow vase to the right is also one that uses just the enamels, and then you come back and add the paste for the outline, and I did do a video on that one also. Then along the bottom you've got enamel pours. You've got the hydrangea is a 6-piece multi-layered piece. The next slide over is the balloon technique, which there's free videos on that. Really, really simple, great to do with kids, lots of fun. So there is videos on that also out there on YouTube free for you. The last one with the pink lily has a combination of stamping, solid coverage, blending, adding color concentrates, a lot of different things on it. Okay. All right, so let's get into, I want to show you what the popular glass color kits are. And hopefully the screen will change. There we go. Okay, so the fired glass sample kit, it's 14 colors, and you get black detailing. You also get a medium, and it's just a little sampler of each one. It's a 1/2 ounce jar, and I'm going to show you that kit with the overhead camera in a minute. The other one is the beginner kit. The beginner is the original 28 colors. Okay, it does have a brush with it. It's got the black and white outline. It's got caps for your outline and tips and a plunger, and then you get a 2-ounce bottle of medium. That is a common one but if you're not sure and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not, the sampler kit is the one to go with, because it's only a 1/2 ounce. You get more colors, and I believe it is on sale right now too. I think I keep it on sale. So it's 1/2 ounce. The beginner kit is 1-ounce jars. So there's a difference. There's a huge cost difference also. If you were to get the beginner and the G series completion, which are the 11 colors we added after the original 28, if you get those 2 kits, you would have every G series color, which the G series is non-toxic and food safe. They all gloss whenever you fire them. You do not have to cap them, which is nice. Okay, so those are the most popular kits. All right, I'm going to show you some of the other kits. These are the seasonal kits. So you've got your winter, spring, summer, fall, maybe one of those palettes, lend more to what you like to paint. Everything is in 1-ounce jars, and everything except for that sampler. Those are the only 1/2 ounce kits that we have. So the advantage of the seasonal kits is you get 2 bubble art colors to try out, and then you get the 7 other colors, and then you get a medium. Okay, you do get some pods with it, paint pods to mix in. Then we have the Fired Artist Palette Kit. That one we put together because it's like your primary colors. You can mix and blend colors together. You also get some detailing black. You get a small bottle of medium. Then we have a ton of other kits that are out there. Janine Stillman has taught at the glass show in Vegas with our products, and we have made a pour and more kit because she likes to do those things. So You can look at that. It does have like a 4 ounce, a 2 ounce, and then some just 1 ounces of the other things. It does come with layering mix. So just pull those different, and there's an actual on the website when you go to the glass enamels, and if you look on the left hand side, there's a menu that says glass kits. If you go to that, all of these are listed. Then you can click on each one to enlarge it and see in detail exactly what's in that kit. An example is one is the Croton Leaf kit that we put together for one of Mark Hufford's classes that he was doing, along with the spoons and more. That was also a video slash class he did. Okay, so that just gives you some ideas of some other kits. Here is another page. It'll take just a second for it to switch over. So this is another wildlife kit, Shelley Long's scenery kit, the honeybee. So all of these are different kits that were made up specifically either for the teacher because they like to teach with those colors, or for a project that was out there at the time. We may discontinue some of these kits because we just don't sell as many of them. There also is the hydrangea floral kit, which is a designer products, some brushes, tools, and that goes with that hydrangea multi-layered kit. So there's two different ones. You get brushes or not brushes. And then we have the hydrangea prismatic textured sand, which comes with brushes, stencil, and all the products to do that project, which there is a free project out there on YouTube, or you can, gosh, I think it's $5 or $10. You can get the PDF and download the video and everything. So that's another one that's also available. And if you guys have any questions, I can see YouTube questions, but I cannot see Facebook. So ask away. Okay. All right. So then let's go back to, I'm going to pop up some of our charts. So these are actual fired charts that we have. Okay, so the first one is the G series, and then the bottom, not the very bottom row, but the next to the bottom where you see the bright orange, yellow, and red, those are GT, meaning their glass is what the G means, T meaning toxic, or they do have cadmium in them, so we don't recommend that you put them on the top of the surface that you're doing. Either do reverse painting or fire them first and then cap them, and then they would be food safe. Okay, but you wouldn't want to put anything like a liquid into a bowl that has these on top because it could leach out. Okay, so there are precautions on the jar and everything. So just read all that information. At the bottom of that first chart, it shows you the glitz. Glitz are a pre-mixed liquid that are like the sparkles, but they're more intense. The sparkles are on the bottom of the second chart. So there may be a reason why you want one versus the other. So these charts show capped and uncapped. So that's what the left side is capped, the right side is uncapped, meaning it does not have a piece of glass over the product. Okay. The bubble art colors are shown there at the top in the center, and there are 16 colors. They're meant to go between glass to make them food safe. You can flood them on solid, or you can do detail or line drawing. I mean, there's, artist specific how you want to use them. If you use the bubble art on top of a piece of glass, it's not food safe, first of all, because there's texture to it, and food and materials can get in there and bacteria can grow. It's very rough in nature. Now, if it's something like a nightlight, that's fine because you may want the texture for something different, but you don't want that on anything that is food related. You can also, in the middle there, it shows you the, excuse me, below the bubble art is a long rectangular piece. You can actually apply that color dry, and I believe I've done a video on that also. and then you would cap it, and it makes little tiny dots or bubbles of each color. If you do the dry technique, I would recommend you only use 5 colors. If you start using more than that, it gets a little convoluted and it's hard to, it just doesn't look good. My recommendation is no more than 5. And then we have our outline products on there, which is our low fire, no fire piping paste that can be used, meaning low fire on your glass, or it can be used like I've done it on my ornaments. It's a no fire product also. You can tint the white with your glass products, or you can tint it with the color concentrates, which is on the right hand side of the screen. If you're using the outline products that come in the kits, or if you buy them separately, you don't want to cap the outlines. You can cap the paste as an outline, but you cannot cap the outlines. That's the next to the bottom row on that center chart. If you cap them, they will bubble and they look really nasty. And I'll show you some of that up close in a minute. And then we have the sparkles below that. There's 4 of those colors. And the jars down below show you a 1 ounce, a 2 ounce, a 4 ounce. We do have pints also of all of those products, all the enamels. And then the color concentrates that's on the right hand side come in the small 1 or 2 ounce squeeze bottles. They are liquid and ready to go. You can stamp with them. You can do brush strokes with them. You can use a quill pen, which is how I've written the numbers on there. So there's a lot of different uses for them. Okay. We also, with every product that we sell, unless I know you've just ordered, recently, we give you what we call quick reference guides. So I'm going to pop those up on the screen. So these are talking about the G series. The BA is Bubble Art. GS stands for Glass and Sparkle. GZ stands for Glitz, is what it stands for. The DZ are designers, or some people call them dezingers. It's a play on words. I wanted to use them in a Zentangle type way, so I named them designers. Then we have the paste, which can be used as an outline. It can be non-fired or fired. And then we have the layering mix with all different types of uses. We have silkscreen. So these are just some. So when you get these quick reference guides in your order, be sure and turn them over, because there is, like on the one side, you've got a sparkle, on the other side, you've got glitz. So don't think it's just one-sided only. A lot of good information. Read those. They will help answer a lot of your questions. Okay. I'm going to pop up this firing schedule just as a basic. And all of these sheets and information can be downloaded off the website also. We have the PDF. So here's just some examples of firing schedules for enamels, for setting the color concentrates, fusing painted thin fire paper between glass. If you want to do a single layer, how can you do it, and how hot do you have to go? You need to go to a minimum of 1380, which is probably the most common used question. So you can fire and set that piece. It should not, I work on 96, but it doesn't matter whether you're on float, window, or float, called the same thing, 90 or 96. So 1380 is your minimum temperature. And as far as your ramping on that, it would depend on how large your piece is. So take that into consideration. And once again, setting your enamels. If you're doing float glass, there's a single layer there showing you. And then if you're on 90, unless you buy smooth rolled, you have a texture to 90 COE glass or bullseye glass. To smooth it out, there's a schedule there. If you're on my closed Facebook group, these are in the file section. You can download these at any time. Okay. All right. So good evening, Rosemary and Heather. Thanks for joining. If you're on Facebook, I cannot see comments right now, and I'm not going to try to do anything that's going to jeopardize what we got going here. Okay, so I'm going to show you another slide. So remember, those are out there, and I believe I have them on the website as a PDF download too. Okay, so this is um, color concentrates, or in the glass world, we call them CC enhancers. Okay, meaning you can enhance your enamels. So you can apply the enamels, let it dry, and then you can do line work on top. You can shade. You just have to have a plan, get it on there, be done with it. Um, and there's several videos showing you how to do that. If you are a brushstroke person like I am, so I wanted to be able to brush it on and do my traditional toll one stroke type painting on glass. So the second side, or the right hand side there, shows you unfired and fired, and there's information on that sheet. These also can be downloaded from the website. So some of the colors, the pinks and purples. So when you get to the 130, 31 to 35, 36, 37, those are all pinks and purples. They are going to soften and tend to fade out. Okay, so I've covered some of it, I sifted over some, I put a piece of glass over it, and then I also showed you on black. Okay, so those are just, and that's on the back side of a sheet. So be sure and turn those over, because I think you guys will find the information very useful. Okay. All right, I'm going to switch screens here. I don't see any questions. Okay, so this is just showing you one of the flyers that we did one year at the glass show, showing you the center section is enamel pours. So you can do all different types of colors, shapes, of course. The left-hand side is murini or cane, vitrograph. So because I'm a 96 user, when Spectrum shut down and we couldn't get a lot of colored glass, we created a way to create colored glass so that we could still do this process. So using clear glass, sifting enamels on, and stacking them, you actually can, those are all clear glass and the enamels sifted, or they have been pre-fired and then stacked into the mix of things. So it's a very cool technique, especially if you're trying to match a project that you want some cane to go with it, a twisted cane, or maybe it's just murini you want to cut up. But it's amazing what you can get. And Debbie Elmer at the time did this. I mean, she's the one that started the whole craze, and then we just ran with it. So definitely thank her for experimenting and bringing this technique to us. So that's kind of cool. All right, I'm going to switch screens again. So this is showing you color concentrates, which is our ceramic translucent underglazes, how it can be used. So the bowl on the upper left is all just swiped on and brushstroke liner work. The square to the right of it is the piping paste, and then I use the color concentrates to sumi shade and add color, and then it's fired after that, so it sticks onto there. So there's a way, or you can tint the piping with it and put it on. I like to just leave it white and then add the shading on top of it. That center picture shows you how you can create colored firing paper and then fuse it between glass. Cut it out with your punches. I have several videos. I've got some paid tutorials on that also. So that's a way for you to use it. The next little square is what we call our ink technique, which is basically color concentrates on fused glass. You do need to cap it or sift over it for it to be food safe. You can stamp with the color concentrates. The little flowers in the middle show stamping, and then the color application fused between glass. The birds, the lovebirds, are on a pour, and then I use color concentrates to create that design. The left-hand side that has the gold around it, that is a pour with color concentrates on top, fired, and then come back and add a real gold, 14 karat gold. The rooster on the right is a piece that has airbrushing. You can airbrush with the color concentrates onto the glass. And then I used it also on some shading on there also. All right, let me move to the next one. This just shows you there's some 3 murini pieces at the top. The center one and the right one does have some enamel painting after the murini has been fused, but the murini is all done with the enamels and clear glass. So it's pretty awesome that you can do that technique. Along the bottom is showing some of our silkscreen products. So the blue bowl with the white is the silkscreen white using the quill pen mixed with clove oil. The toucan is silk screened on with the black, and then the butterflies are silk screened on with black also. But did that one already, sorry. Here is a real, I'm going to change screens again. Here is a real easy one for a beginner. You can literally sift through a stencil with your dry enamel. So the first top left shows you each color that I did and then what it looks like, how heavy it's built up, and that's the middle photograph when it's fired. Whether you're using a stencil that's made out of like the 10 mil, the standard stencil material, you can also cut like scrapbooking paper on your Cricut silhouettes, which is what I did on the upper right hand side, laid it on and then sifted through it. The bottom left that has the flowers and the multicolor, that was actually on a live, so you can find that out there on YouTube. And so was the bottom right one. So sifting is easy. It's an easy way to start. If you think, oh, I'm not a painter, anybody can do this. Anybody can do it. And it's fun. All right, so I'm going to go to another kit page that shows you the paste kits. So the piping paste, as I said before, it can be fired or not fired. You can see there it's on an ornament. Of course, that is not fired. And then the other pieces are fired. So we have black and white paste. We have kits. So the black and white kit is shown there on the bottom left. Comes with a brush to do the brush embroidery like is showing up above. The medium bottle for each one of your colors, a plunger to clean it with, a tool. So everything is in the kit. And if I am correct, the black and white piping kit, I usually keep it on sale. You can buy the white kit by itself or the black kit by itself, or you can buy the individual jars. But you do need, well, I shouldn't say you need, but you do need some type of a squeeze bottle to do the way that I do it. So if you buy them singly, you need to buy that piping, the PIP kit number 4. And you can just, anytime you're searching for anything on the website, if you just type in one keyword, less is more, you'll find, so if you just type in piping, it's going to come up with all these images for you. Okay. So that is some of those. Let me go to another slide and show you the bubble art. Firing, okay, we have a question. Firing schedule for powdered stencils. Jill, it would depend on if you're 1 or 2 layers. So if you're 2 layers, if you're just wanting to set it, then you can just use that 1380, and it just depends on how large your piece is. If it's 8 inches or below, you can go with that, like 400, 500 degrees per hour up to the 1380. Hold it for 5 to 10 minutes and you're good. You will have some texture if you're firing a single, and you've sifted, okay, on that. So here is the bubble art. We have bubble art kits also. So we have number 1 and 2. 1 is my favorite colors that I've put together. Number 2, and then we have the 16. So recently I posted that red, white, and blue vase. So that is using the BA 5043 sapphire blue, just flooded on white glass, capped with clear, full fused, and then you come back and you tack fuse your frit along the edge, and then you drape it. Pretty simple, basic stuff. I included the large image of the bubbles so you can see that some of them are larger than others. So like the second one over, which is parchment, tends to make bigger bubbles. And then the 2 blues in the middle are extremely large. But then when you get to the end and some of those greens, they're tiny, or the first one is tiny. And you know what I'm missing? There's no white on there. But you can get the idea. So be sure and look at those, and you can see that the center one along there is on top. The bottom sections are fused between, and then the top section of those just shows you how you can do line and dots and whatever type of design you want to do. Okay, so those are another way. Now, if you're going to use the color concentrates on glass, let me switch to another slide. You're welcome, Jill. And while that's switching, I'm going to grab a drink because my throat's killing me. All right, so this is the CC Enhancer Kit number 1. So you get 14 colors, and then you get the sheet, the color concentrate sheet to go with that. And there's just some examples down there, but those are pre-mixed. They're liquid, shake and go. If you use these directly on the glass, you don't want to puddle the color on. Okay, you need to follow the directions. You can stamp with it, you can fill in, but you cannot flood like you do with the regular enamels. These are highly concentrated products that are not meant to go on glass, first of all. Okay, so if you put them on too thick, too heavy, you could get bubbles. It's going to be very textured if it's on the top surface, if you've got one. They're great for, you can put them on ornaments and things, but if you're going to use them on a food safe surface and do the stamping technique or the brush strokes, then you need to cap it. But you also need to sift clear powdered frit, clear powdered frit between the 2 layers, and then sift around the edge of your glass one more time so that it keeps it raised up, and so the center can fall and then push all the bubbles out. So color concentrates are a matte finish if they're not capped, okay, because they're not meant to go on glass. All right, you can use a quill pen with them, you can stamp with them, you can color in your stamped images, which is what we call the ink technique. But just remember, they're going to be matte and finish. They're not food safe unless they are capped, whether you cap them with another sheet of glass or you sift over them to cover them. Okay, so that's kit number 1. We've broken them down to 3 different kits. Here's number 2. So it just depends on what your color palette is. You can also buy these individual. You can buy them in 1 ounce and you can buy them in 2 ounce and pints. But for glass, I don't think you'll ever need pints. Ceramics, yes. All right, so let's do kit number 3. Same difference. It does not have 14. It has 13 colors in it. Okay, and then we have a kit that includes all of them, all 41 colors. So it really depends on what you're looking to do. Okay. All right, I think that is all of the glass. So what I'm going to do is go back to my overhead. And talk to you a little bit more. Okay, so in all of the orders, unless, like I said, unless you multiple order, or I know you already have one, you get our color sheet, and it has all the basic information. It has your color concentrate kits listed on there, and then on the back is your glitz and your bubble art. So you can kind of see the bubble art colors there. Okay, so that is basic information. When I was talking about the ink and the stamping, this is an example of that. And if I tilt this just right, you can see how that's kind of rough looking on the dark green. So the darker the color, it does tend to have more of a granular, but you just sift over it. If you're wanting it without an actual sheet of glass and you still have some rough areas, just sift it again and refire. Okay, but be generous. That's all this has on it is color concentrates. So be generous with your clear powdered frit. Okay. All right, so I was talking about silkscreen products. This is, everything's in a powder as far as it goes. Okay, so this is the black. You either mix it with our glass medium, or for one of those projects, the white one, I actually mixed it with clove oil and did it with a quill pen, which is kind of cool. And then here is like a 1 ounce size. Okay, this would be a 4 ounce size. So I want to show you the sampler kit. For those that are new, maybe you do ceramics and you want to get into glass, so you're going to get some pods to mix up your colors in. But all of the colors come in a 1/2 ounce jar, and there's 14 colors. This is the 1 ounce jar. Okay, this is a 1/2 ounce. These are the only 14 colors that we bottle that way. So it's like a little sampler, get you started, and then you can go back and buy the bigger size, whatever size fits your needs in the that color. Okay, it also has the glass medium in it, and then it does have the detailing black. So normally the detailing black would be in a squeeze bottle. So this is a liquid already, okay, because it is a color concentrate. Now this is where it gets a little confusing. DB 101 detailing black, CC 101 cobalt black. As long as the last 3 digits are the same, 101, 101, it's the same thing. So you can either buy the detailing black in a 1 ounce squeeze like this, or you can just buy the color concentrate. It's the same product. All I did was label it for glass, because originally in the beginning I wasn't going to use every color concentrate color, and then we started experimenting and we were able, because this has been probably 8 years ago that we came up with this kit, 7-8 years ago. So something to think about. This would be the sampler, and you have everything in it to kind of get you going. Okay, so that's the sampler kit. And so you've got your 8 colors. You get, again, a small bottle of the glass medium with it. Is that bottle going to liquefy all 1 ounce? Because the size jar that's in there is this size. No, it's not. So buy an 8 ounce medium. And I don't think I have one here, but it would be, this size. And it's actually cheaper to go that route than to buy a couple of the small ones. I get the big ones and then refill my little ones. Okay, so that's kind of what a kit looks like there. Here is like the spring kit. So on the front of it, we always tell you what colors are in it. So you get the regular G series, a couple of bubbles, and again, one of the small bottles of the glass medium. Your paste, if you're doing the no fire, low fire paste, it only comes in a 4 ounce jar in black and white. Okay, so this is just showing you those same flyers. Okay, so the G series, meaning G for glass, GT, glass, and toxic. Okay, so these have the GTs, and also they need to be vented. Okay, vented to 1100 degrees. That means prop open your kiln with a little 1/2 inch post until it gets to 1100, and then you can lower it. And when I'm firing anything that has the red, yellows, and oranges in it, I usually bring it as close to the front or where I'm venting it, and I have better results. Okay. And then the GO is the glass outline. Okay. So you can buy kits or you can buy them singly. Just remember the outlines, the white and black outline, GO, cannot be capped. And I'm going to grab the actual chips and show you here. I'm going to turn it sideways because of the camera. Okay, so this is the white and black. But if you cap them, do you see how that bubbled? I mean, it's a cool technique. I'm sure there's something there. I haven't explored it yet. Now, the white doesn't really bubble at all, but just to be safe, I'm telling you, don't cap them. Okay? Don't cap them. All right. So this is just giving you a little closer up to show you the bubble art colors. So flooded on, line work, this corner is on top. And I think you can see that it's textured on those areas. Okay. And then I was talking about you can use the bubble art colors dry. So I just laid down some medium, just took a sumi brush, squirted out some drops of medium, made sure it was wet on the glass. And then I just took like a tool that comes in a lot of the kits and tapped on 5 colors and let it sprinkle down. And then this makes beautiful jewelry. If you're looking for something quick and easy, use white glass behind it and then just cap it with clear and use, like if you were trying to do Christmas jewelry or something, you could do the couple of the different greens, but this has got 5 colors on it. It's a really cool technique. All right, so WLFP is white low fire piping, and it was tinted with the color concentrate. So you don't have to leave it just white. You don't have to sumi shade on top of it. You can actually tint it. Okay. I'm going to have to turn this because of my space. And then here's your white and your black. And this is your white and your black. But I used it as line work in between glass and then flooded. So you can kind of see that one has the white outline. This one has the black. So it just depends on the look that you want. And then here is your sparkles. So uncapped, capped. So when you start capping these, only the sparkle with the copper sparkle is the one that holds really well between glass. I would use the rest of them on top, fire it, do that like you want to set it to the 1380, and then come back and cap it and you'll retain, because this tends to start muting out and it's hard to tell on camera, but it almost turns a fleshy color, and this is just a dull gray. I wouldn't recommend. Only the copper between. All right, you guys are really quiet. I haven't seen any questions. Is this answering some of your things? Okay, so on the back of this one is the BA. So it talks about, it gives you all the examples down here, shows you that. We have the designers. We have the designer kit. I did not put it as a slide, but you can get all 16 colors, or you can buy them individually, and they're in baggies. And I don't have one here, but you can look at all that online. It's really great for those people that want to do brush strokes, because you can actually brush stroke it on and it stays right where you put it. It's really nice to use with quill pen work also, and you can tint your piping paste with it also. Okay. This is just your quick reference on your color concentrate. So if you want to stamp with it, you want to do brush strokes, you want to work with it on thin fire, or you want to use it with a stencil. So go find these. If you're on my glass group already, they're in the files. If you're not, they're on the website, and you can find them under each product. Okay. So here is that sampler kit that I was just showing you. So that's the one that that has these. And you know what? This price is wrong. I forgot to scratch that out. That's real old. So it comes in the small 1/2 ounce jars. So you get, and you can intermix any two colors to get another color. Okay. That's the nice thing about the enamels. Okay. And then this is just some of those other kits. The Croton kit shows you the colors that are in it. And all of these prices, I should have put something over them because they're really, really, really old. So you're getting regular enamels and 2 bubble arts. So it depends on, you know, all of those different ones, what color palette. You know, this is great, the spring one for spring, Easter. It'd be great. It's a great to start with. But the sampler would be my #1 pick. And that's what most people start with. And then they either go to these and, or just single jars. Okay. So same thing with your artist palette kit. The River Rocks, and here's your bubbles. I mean, there's just all of those different ones that are available. And then your color concentrates. Okay. A lot of people just start with black, so you can buy the single. And then, but watch some of the videos, you know, the one where I did this purple flower. You have to be really, you got to make a plan and get it done. Because if you start adding these as a liquid on top of a dry enamel, it's going to liquefy the enamel and lift it if you're not careful. So you may not want to even use it on top of dry enamel to start with. You may want to use these just for the stamping or working on the thin fire paper that you can fuse between. And I've got multiple videos out there. Okay, so you've got your 3 different kits. There's kit 3. And then you've got the 41. And we went over the firing schedule. So depending on what you're firing on, there's some basic firing schedules to start with. The size of your piece is going to make a difference. If it's a bigger piece than 8 inches, you may have to slow things down. Okay. And you can always reach out to me and I can recommend a schedule. Okay. So we went over those. So here's like the quick reference on the color concentrates, which I have this video out there doing this project. So I stamped it, and you can either make a ink pad like this, or right now we've updated the information and you don't have to make an ink pad anymore. You can just use one of those sponge on a sticks, apply it to your stamp, and then stamp it and then color. You can flip and color it on the other side. There's so many different. So this is a really good beginner type technique, especially if you're a ceramic person wanting to get into glass. This would be a good one, okay, to start with. And this is out there as a video, and I show you, you know, what it looks like sifted and putting little stringers in the corner. When you're doing thin fire paper, you do need to follow my schedule, because if you don't, you're going to have a great big black bubble in the middle of your glass because the paper turns black. So we're painting on that thin fire paper or papyrus, either one, and it turns black before it turns back white again. So the smoke has to get out of between the 2 pieces. Okay, so you have to have a longer schedule in order for it to be able to get rid of all that organics. So Jill is asking, could you stamp with the bubble powder? You know what you might try? I've not done it, Jill. You could apply, let's say, to your stamp. Take one of the pouncers, and if this were my stamp here, and you could apply the glass medium to that, stamp it on your glass, and then sift your color, your bubble art over it, and then shake off the excess. Maybe, I'm not sure. If you're going to stamp with the bubble art or any of the enamels, I like stamping with the color concentrates, okay? But if you're going to do it with the enamels, we also carry Jennifer Joy's product, which is a stamping medium, a brayer, and yeah, I can't remember the other one. Anyway, there's 3 different parts of it, and that works better. And there's a little synopsis out there on that page. So check that out. You might be able to do that. I'll experiment with that and report back to you. Okay, that's a great idea, though. All right, so here's just using the color concentrates with the stencil, pouncing the color on, removing it, and then you can sift over it, or you can just leave it matte. You can use the rollers, you can use the daubers. Remember that all of this information was current at the time we put it out there. Things keep getting updated. We try new things. So there may be an easier way to do things. Okay. All right, Jill, you try that and you let me know how it goes. Okay. Send me pictures and I can help you diagnose it. This is just that sheet showing you the unfired, the fired with the glass over it, sifting on black. So there's your concentrate. You got 41 colors you can play with. So that's a lot of fun to do. I like doing it because I can do my brush strokes. I'm going to be honest with you. It allows me to do that type of toll and one stroke painting on glass that you can't do with enamels unless you mix them with the layering mix. And then it's really grainy and it's just not as clean. Okay. And this is just basic information on your concentrates, more of the firing schedules. So on Facebook, okay, of course, the website, colorsforearth.com. On Facebook, we have a closed group. If you have purchased any of our products that work on glass, you can ask to join, but you need to answer the questions. If you don't answer the questions, you don't get in. That's just bottom line. If you're on YouTube, or maybe you're not on YouTube, you're on Facebook, be sure and subscribe to my YouTube channel and ring the bell for all notifications. There's 3 different ways to do that bell. That way you know when I'm going live or upload a video. Okay. And there is a price list out there at the very bottom of the website. You can download it of all of our products. Okay. And when you post in my group, my closed group, or even on my page, it doesn't matter either way, give me some basic information so that I can help you. What COE did you use? How many layers? How did you stack it? Did you paint top, bottom? Did you cap it? What was your schedule? Exact products, because a lot of people say, well, I used CFE. Okay, I know you use Colors for Earth, but did you use Colors for Earth enamels, color concentrates, and now with the prismatic, we're using color strokes. So be sure and give me exact, like G310 vermilion, okay, or CC101, so that I can better diagnose anything that you're posting and maybe you have a question about. And are you brushing, puddling, how'd you apply it? If you don't feel comfortable saying all those things, you can always instant message me through Facebook, or you can just send me an email with that if you don't want the whole group to know it. Can you mix, Lynn has a question, can you mix color concentrate colors to get absolute different colors? Yes. Can you intermix 2 colors together to get another color? Yes. Yep. Absolutely, you can. Okay. And then, okay, Heather, I'm wondering about the small stamped piece to the right is, oh, this one over here. Is it stamped on? Okay, so Heather wants to know how this was done. So this, it has green opal glass on the back side. I was on white glass. You can kind of see the white edge of the glass there. White glass, I stamped it with the black color concentrate or the DB101, whichever one you have. Okay, and then most of the time I will take a dotting tool. Okay, and we have a set of these, and I'll dip into my concentrate and just apply it inside, like put a dot and come around. And I have multiple videos out there on doing this. Okay, so I'm just going in and filling, and then I sifted, Heather, over the top, clear powdered frit over the top. And I did sift between the layers. On this one, I didn't have to, but the larger the piece, you would need to sift between just to help eliminate bubbles. Okay. But there still is a little bit of texture. It's mainly in the dark green area. I think you can kind of see that. But it's kind of cool. On jewelry, it would be awesome because it almost gives it like a glitter or almost like you had little tiny grains of the frit on there, which you do. It's just absorbing into most of this. If you don't want any of that showing, then just sift over it again and fire again, and you should be fine. I've done both. Okay. No, the color is all on the top, Heather. Everything's on the top surface. And then this out here on the edge, I just took the sumi brush and I thinned down some of the green and I just kind of did a watercolory type look, but very thin. So the key is multiple thin coats, and I preach this when I do the ceramic videos. Same thing goes here. If you start putting it on really heavy or you start flooding the color on, you're going to have issues. It's going to be thicker. It's going to require more frit, or it could crack. It could bubble. You know, you can always fire and set this, and I have that schedule out there, and then you can come back and cap it if you want. But if you're doing jewelry, um, so if you want to set your color concentrates, go to 1235, okay? And so that's what you can do to set it. See that schedule there on the top? Okay. Hopefully that helped. There's a lot of information. It's a lot more than the ceramic. And I know it can get really crazy and confusing. Okay. So this is all strictly just enamels. So can you see that these 3 leaves are on top, but you see that other one that's back there? So it is on the second layer. There's actually, this one has 2 layers. I did another one like this that actually has 3 layers. It has an ivory colored background. I did like a 3 mil for my back piece, and then I did 2 mil pieces of clear where I did front and back painting. But you don't have to cap them. They will gloss on their own. These are color concentrates. I did sift over the area. It's just easier to sift the whole thing just because I didn't want those textured is all. Okay, good questions, guys. Any other questions before I sign off? Like I said, once again, this is sparkle. Now, there's texture to sparkles. The hotter you go, some of them do smooth out. This was 1460 and I'm on 96. Okay, so you've got texture on here. You would not use this for a food safe bowl or anything. It's not food safe. Okay, it's more decorative only. Okay, but this one here is all enamels, and this is a kind of a new technique that I did on here, and I'll explore that later and tell you more about that. I don't want to get involved in it tonight. Okay. All right, and this just happens to be one where I used the silkscreen white through a stencil, the silkscreen black through a stencil, and this is all color concentrates on him on the prismatic textured sand. I can go back to that traditional style of painting, and then I actually carved away back to the base. That's why you see the white every now and then. So go watch some of the other videos. I hope this was helpful. Let me switch back to me. Hopefully it'll switch back. It'll take just, there we go. All right. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. My sound, it just wouldn't work on me, but I figured it out. Yay. I had to totally unplug, totally reset everything on the computer for it to take hold. So anyway, if you have more questions, you can leave comments on the video. On any of my videos, I allow you to leave a comment, and then I'll get back with you if you have a question or just a comment, whatever. Or you can, like I said, message me. My email is not on the screen, which it usually is, which is strange. Um, I'm not sure why it's not there. But anyway, colorsforearth@gmail.com or ceramics by Paula at Gmail. Either one of those, you can reach me. Okay. Thanks for joining me, guys. And